I don't know about you, I'm starting to develop something known as events fatigue. Dear Diamonds and fellow Diamonds in Rough, I think it's safe to say that events are a core component of what makes a gacha game. Now, before we proceed in my issues with said events, I want to make sure we understand exactly what we're talking about when it comes to the definition of said events, and most importantly, the intent which the devs put them in our gacha games. I would very much appreciate it if you would like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this with a friend. I would love for this to be a actual point of conversation within the community, because I do feel like this is something that impacts each and every one of us in terms of our experience as gamers within these particular gacha games. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Now, events, the definition of the term events is clearly different from what it is in a gacha game. Now, events in a gacha game are basically a bunch of mini games the developer introduces with the intent for you to actually take a break from the constant game loop that the developer hooked you with day one. Okay, it's a breath of fresh air. It breaks the cycle. It's decent. Like, all in all, the intent for it is understandable and can be appreciated if they weren't so hit or miss. Don't misunderstand me. Some events really hit. I still remember the hide and seek event from Genshin Impact. I had a ton of fun with that event, and I can recall it with a smile on my face because it was a good time to play with friends you've actually met through the game, and it's actually a decent activity. Like, it's a fun co-op activity that you guys can do, and it helps a lot with your gameplay experience because it's a PvE game, and doing a co-op event that isn't actually laggy and stuff like that, because co-op are terrible in most gacha games, was a good breath of fresh air, and I remember those days fondly. But I cannot say that for the rest of the 99% of the events I've played within gacha games. Like, they're just very forgettable, and more dangerously, the incentive that the devs put on you, the player, for having to play said events, and also due to them being mostly misses than hits, can make said events a bit of a huge problem for your typical free-to-play slash low spender like myself. And the reason why it's a problem for those players is simple. It's because there's something called premium currency that is very crucial for free-to-play, especially, and the low spenders to obtain, because they're very scarce in those particular resources, and the only way to get it is through, of course, the microtransactions, which most free-to-play players and low spenders are not willing to do, of course. And for you to get these, it's locked behind having to do the event, and that's something I have a huge issue with, because let me take this very event as an example. This is where it was the last straw that broke the camel's back. The Frolova Echo mint picking event. You see it on the screen. You will notice that I don't have all the rewards in it. It's because I looked at it and I was like, this is stupid. This is not okay. I am not having fun. This is a chore. A chore for what? For a bunch of currency that I myself give value to because I want to obtain X or Y character to keep up with the roster. I don't have to do that if I'm not having fun. These are supposed to be both a mixture of fun, where you break the game cycle and you maximize player retention of keeping the players interested in your own IP and your own title, and not for them going elsewhere. And more so, you incentivize them by getting more rewards. It's a win-win, right? Because of course you gotta incentivize the player with some form of reward. It's good, smart game design. But when the event is, well, let's call it what it is, a mini game. When the mini game is not fun, I'm sorry. And the only main takeaway for me is the resources. It means that I put my small, scarce gaming time in jeopardy for this, meaning this costs my time and my peace, and that is not something I'm comfortable with doing anymore. This used to be fine with me when I was more on the young side, a bit of whatever. I don't respect my time nor myself that much, but I feel like the more I grew up, the more you realize that, wait a minute, I can't play these video games at any point in the day. Like, I have very specific times where I can actually sit here and do this. I want to make sure I have the best time possible in that small time window. This is not really doing it if you're not enjoying the event and you're just trying to get the resources. And the solution to that is incredibly simple. Make sure that as soon as the event ends, we get the rewards. You do not lock the resources that you are already willing to give out anyway. If someone were to go and do the event, you were willing to give them said rewards, all right? For anybody that's gonna be like, well, how are they supposed to make money? No, asteroids need to keep their value, like the players need to give those things value even though they're worthless. No, you're supposed to value them because how is the company making money? Of course, it's like NFTs and stuff like that. I get it. However, they should not be not given to you at all if you do not participate in the event. The rewards should be given to you. You should just have some level of you deal with the first quest, like you unlock the event. At the moment you unlock the event from the NPC, you should be due for the rewards as soon as the event ends. That way you kind of dodge having to give too much resources to offline accounts that are not active at all, right? And it allows players to not feel penalized for having a taste and not enjoying an event that you yourself made, something that we didn't technically sign up for in the core base gameplay. I hope I'm making some sense. Now, of course, for events to be good and for players to want to play your event, because why would you make an event if no one is going to play them? They're going to unlock it and get the rewards. It doesn't make any sense. If I made dinner for all you people, I will want you to eat the dinner and enjoy the dinner, right? So there has to be some form of incentive for players to play the event but not feel penalized, because right now my main issue is I feel penalized for having a taste. Because I do not enjoy this event, I'm now penalized by not getting the rewards. I should not be penalized for that because my taste, you missed. You presented to me something that's a miss. However, due to the nature of these games, I should be getting the rewards, because if I have to do the rewards, it's a chore, you're becoming annoying. So we can't really have that, because now you're losing me as a player. That's kind of what's happening, to be honest with you. And I'm pretty sure I've seen this sentiment a lot. It's not loud, but I can see it starting to grow. Event fatigue is definitely a thing that's starting, and I just want to get the word out for everybody. Now, solution is of course simple. As soon as the event ends, like I stated previously, you just give out the rewards as soon as someone unlocks it so that you can counter offline accounts. And more importantly, there is an incentive of instant gratification. If you do the event, you get the rewards now. You do not do the event, well, you wait for them until the event ends, and sometimes that can be a penalty to you, because in certain timings, for example, as you see here on the screen, the screenshot here shows that the Augusta banner ends in a day, and the free 10 polls that they're giving out now with Ionos coming is exactly as soon as the banner ends, it unlocks for everybody. You cannot use the event of Iono's resources towards the Augusta banner. Now, events could follow something similar, where an event is going to end as soon as the banner ends. So if you want to get the character that's currently ongoing, you kind of have to do the event. Unfortunately for you, how bad do you want that character? And it increases the value of said character, right? Like it makes like the player really desire that character, and they're willing to put in the work and the sacrifice for it, because it's kind of what they do. You either work for your resources or you pay for your resources. It's kind of the mentality they go with. So you can just apply something this simple, where instant gratification is your reward for having to do the event, or it's actual enjoyment, which is what the mini games are intended to do. In conclusion, events should be a fun time for players, and if they're not a fun time for players, there should be a part of the patch where players feel rewarded of the event, quote unquote, that the developers are doing for the players to show appreciation and reward them for sticking around and playing their game. Ultimately, that should be the spirit of the event model, not so an incentive and a way to just give the premium currency more value throughout what should be a player to developer celebration type of event, if that makes any sense. So Something before I go that I want you to understand that this is a video about the entire event model in Gacha as a whole and not a target towards Wuthering Waves specifically. I just use Wuthering Waves as an example because it's the Gacha game I currently play, but Kurobots back off. Like, it's not about just you, it's about everybody. It's about the entire gotcha model and the formula that's now becoming the standard. And I have some fears going into the future, staying in the gotcha gaming model. That this particular part of it is starting to become more of a nuisance and a hindrance to my enjoyment of the games, more so than it is a time for celebration and oh yeah, easy free polls. Oh yeah, no, it's not like the Iona one where you can just claim temples. No, it's a chore you have to put in the work, and I think unless that is to be enjoyable, it should not have to be done at all. And the developers should respect our time as well. It's the main takeaway. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and thanks for watching.